the body and it controls the voluntary actions. It stores information, that means the part associated with the memory, then receives sensory information from various parts of the body and integrate it. Then it is the center associated with hunger. Then the part of the brain which controls involuntary actions is called the midbrain. And the hindbrain is consists of three parts called cerebellum, medulla, and pons. And the cerebellum controls posture and balances. Medulla controls the involuntary actions such as vomiting, salivation, etc. Vomiting, salivation, etc. Pons, which controls voluntary actions and helps in respiration process. So then, right now, endocrine system. What is meant by an endocrine system? Endocrine system comprises of endocrine glands and its secretion. And its secretion is simply called hormones. Secretion is simply called hormones. So the endocrine system comprises of endocrine gland and its secretion, which is called hormones. That hormones helps the nerve system in the control and coordination of the human body. Control and coordination of the human body. If there will be any deficiency of the hormones, there will be some diseases will happen that we want to discuss later. So endocrine system consists of or comprises of endocrine glands and its secretion, which is simply called hormones. That hormones, that is chemical hormones, helps the nerve system in control and coordination. So that's all about forebrain, midbrain, hindbrain, and endocrine system. Okay, we want to study about hormones. We want to study about human hormones produced by different glands. So first of all, we want to study about hypothalamus gland. Hypothalamus gland produces hormones such as releasing hormones and growth inhibiting hormone. Releasing hormone RH and growth inhibiting hormone. So what are the functions of releasing hormone and growth inhibiting hormone? It regulates secretion of pituitary hormones. It regulates the secretion of pituitary hormones. And it acts as, these hormones will act in pituitary glands. So hypothalamus produces releasing hormones and growth inhibiting hormones, which regulates the secretion of pituitary hormones, and it will act in pituitary gland. So the next gland is pituitary gland, which produce growth hormones, which controls growth. Dwarfism and gigantism is associated with this pituitary gland and growth hormones, which controls growth, and it will act in various body cells. Next one is thyroid gland. Thyroid gland will produce hormones such as thyroxine, tridothyronin, and thyrocalcitonin. And it will regulate the basal metabolic rate. And the RBC formation, and regulate calcium level. The functions of these hormones are regulate basal metabolic rate and the RBC formation, then regulate calcium level. And it will act in body tissues. Next one is adrenal gland. Adrenal gland produces hormones such as adrenaline, non-adrenaline, and cortisoids. Adrenaline, non-adrenaline, and cortisoids. What are the functions of these hormones? Which regulates heartbeat, sweating, and piloerection. It will act in body tissues. Next one is pancreas, which will produce insulin and glucagon. It will stimulate glycogenesis, controls carbohydrate metabolism, and maintains glucose level. It will act in tissues. Then next one is testis, which is called the male hormone. The testosterone and androgen, which is called the male hormone. The function is the development of male reproductive tissues, and it will act in male body tissues. Finally, ovary will produce estrogen and progesterone. It is the function is the development of female secondary sexual character, female secondary sexual character, and it will act in female body tissues. So these are the glands and associated hormones produced by the glands, and these are the functions, and it will act in various tissues and various glands. So hypothalamus, pituitary gland, thyroid gland, adrenal gland, pancreas, testis, and ovary. That's all about hormone production in humans. So moving to the final topic of the chapter called hormonal disorders. So as we know that the overproduction and underproduction, that is the less production and excess production of hormone, will cause diseases. That is called hormonal disorders. That will affect the human being. The excess production of hormones and the hypoproduction, that means the less production of hormone, also affects the human beings. So that is called hormonal disorders. What all the hormonal disorders we want to study? We want to study about dwarfism, gigantism, goiter, and diabetes. What is the cause of dwarfism? The less production of growth hormones, that is the hypoproduction of not hypoproduction, less production of growth hormones causes dwarfism. And what is called gigantism, or how gigantism occurs? Because the excess production of growth hormones, excess production of hyperproduction, excess production of growth hormone causes gigantism, or the deficiency of growth hormones or the hypoproduction of growth hormone causes dwarfism, and the excess production or hyperproduction of growth hormone causes gigantism. And goiter, deficiency of iodine causes goiter. And the deficiency of insulin causes diabetes. So these are the hormonal disorders that we want to study: dwarfism, gigantism, then goiter, and diabetes. Dwarfism, gigantism, goiter, and diabetes. Dwarfism, the less production, that means the hyperproduction of or the deficiency of growth hormone causes dwarfism. The excess production or the hyperproduction of growth hormone causes the gigantism. The deficiency of iodine causes goiter, and the deficiency of insulin causes diabetes. These are the hormonal disorders, and these are the final topics of the chapter. So in control and coordination, as we discussed in the starting, in control and coordination, all the important topics are discussed. All the important topics are therefore discussed here. Right now, all the important topics regarding, we will start with the movement of plants, then the plant hormones, then the animal hormones, then the central nervous system, then peripheral nervous system, then that means the human nervous system, then the structure of neuron, then the hormonal secretion, then what is mean by hormone, what all the glands produces hormones, what are the function of hormones we discuss, then what are the hormonal disorders we discuss. These are the important and main content in the topic, and you have to concentrate your study in plant hormones and the central nervous system. That means a human central nervous system. See, central nervous system and peripheral nervous systems are there in the discussed topic. That's are the important topics. There will be a lot of questions regarding plant hormones and the central nervous systems are there in the exams. Also, you have to study about this topic. This topic means hormonal disorders, and you have to concentrate on your studies on that hormones production from different glands. So these are the important topics regarding the chapter, and we discussed all the important topics, and all the best for your final exam. Right now I am signing off. The chapter is completed. We will discuss another chapter in another day. Thank you everyone. We will see you in the next class. Thank you and have a good day.